this is IGP signing in with another video. This is my AnimeNYC overview. AnimeNYC is an anime convention held in the Javits Center in New York City and is currently on its second year. During its first year, the convention welcomed about 20,000 guests. This year, it increased to a whopping 32,000 attendees, meaning that this con will only continue to grow in size. In this overview, I'll be listing my negatives and positives, as well as what I think the con could do to improve in the future. But don't get me wrong, I adore AnimeNYC, and some of my opinions may not match up with that of others. Remember that everyone's overall experience will differ. Let's start with the negatives. Badge mailing mess. Many people who ordered badges before the deadline, the mailing deadline, did not receive them in the mail. They had to pick them up at will call. This may be due to AnimeNYC having 2 times as many attendees as its first year, but it's not a great sign for a con to have badge issues this early on. As the con grows, it needs to be able to show that it can accommodate the growing number of attendees, as a convention like AnimeNYC is bound to grow bigger. Hotel mess. This one isn't really AnimeNYC's fault per se, but a hotel that booked tons of attendees for AnimeNYC went out of business a couple of weeks before the convention, forcing a lot of attendees to quickly search for new lodgings. Thankfully, it's NYC, so hotels and Airbnbs are always around every corner, but finding one within a good distance that isn't unreasonably expensive is an issue. Long lines. Lines to get autograph tickets were huge and wrapped around the block. This was both Saturday and Friday morning. People weren't too happy about it since it was super cold that weekend. Lines were such an issue, people started calling it LobbyCon and LineCon. The super early time for an autograph ticket pickup, which was 8 a.m., was just a bad move in my opinion. I heard that this issue wasn't as bad on the Saturday, but still, come on, 8 a.m. to pick up autograph tickets? No thanks. Another line issue had to do with people who didn't have to pick up their badges at will call. These are the people who had their badges mailed to them and actually received them. There was a lot of confusion about what line to stand on, and lots of people were pretty upset about this. I mean, I would be too if I was standing outside in 40-degree weather. Another issue that I did hear about but didn't experience firsthand was security. I mean, there was a lot, which is good for a con, but they had checkpoints for the entrance into almost every new area of the convention, meaning that bags were checked by security several times, and yes, there were more lines. Although I did hear that this was solved by Saturday. Coat check. There were long lines for coat check, and if you were like me and didn't want to get there early morning to get an autograph ticket, you were stuck carrying your coat and bags with you because both coat checks filled up quickly. Okay, enough with the negatives. I listed a lot. Let's go to some pros of the con. So, the location. As usual, the Javits Center is a huge, beautiful space for a convention. It works really well for photo shoots, and there's a lot of natural lighting available. It was also very warm inside, which made more skin-revealing cosplay possible and comfortable. This center is also one stop away from Times Square via the 7 train or a bus, both of which were a 2-minute walk from the Javits. Food carts were lined the perimeter of the con as well, so if food inside was too pricey, food outside was also another great choice and was readily available. The Javits also has a ton of seating around the center, and this is great for anyone who needed to take a breather during convention hours. The atmosphere. The overall tone of the convention was really great. It's like a huge, friendly vibe that you get once you walk through the front doors. The attendees and staff, including Javits staff, were very pleasant to be around. AnimeNYC update emails. If you signed up for the newsletter, you would have received a ton of AnimeNYC update emails. AnimeNYC has made it clear that they're a con for the fans. They gave out warnings of the weather and for transportation. They also vowed to fix the line issues from Friday, and they did. They have a knack for being a con that you just really can't stay angry at, as the organizers are humble fans as well, who do the best that they can to make up for unfortunate mistakes. Way more space. The convention area was way bigger, so much bigger. Even though PetCon, which was a pet convention also going on at the Javits during the same time as AnimeNYC, though not Friday, the convention center was so large that the two conventions didn't interfere with each other. I mean, we did get to see a bunch of, well, cutely dressed dogs around the con. If anyone had noticed them, they were everywhere. So, I mean, that's a plus. The main events. The main events were great. They had a ton of main events. Main events that included Anisong Matsuri, which is a huge concert. It's a huge deal in the anime community, and I heard it was really great. There was also a Fate special event that happened. I need to get into Fate so I can know what the heck that is. There was also Mob Psycho 100 Season 2's world premiere. There was also the world premiere of a new K movie. And there were tons of other things going on in main events. It was a lot. They had a lot of guests this year. About 60 guests, if I recall. It was a great time. The lines for panels moved quickly most of the time. I mean, you still had to make sure that if you knew that it was going to be a big deal type of panel, you still had to make sure that you got there on time, because they did cut off lines at certain points. Certain lines were cut in half. So getting to the big main event panels on time is pretty important for if you actually want to get inside. But for the most part, the panel lines did move quickly, they moved smoothly, and the lines were organized for the most part. The banana pool at the Crunchyroll booth. I saw this at a lot of pictures for Comic-Con, that there was a banana pool for the Crunchyroll booth, and I was really hoping that I would find another one here, and they had it. Crunchyroll really came through with that one. It was real fun taking a picture in a pool filled to the brim with a bunch of banana cats. It was great. Lastly, cosplayers galore. Cosplayers were everywhere this time around. There were a lot of cosplayers at 2017's AnimeNYC, but this year it was just everywhere you look, there are cosplayers, especially Boku no Hero Academia cosplayers. Everyone looked amazing. I wanted to get pictures of everyone. I wanted to get everyone into my video, but I was having too much fun being Ruchiro and Dio to really get around to getting all of those pictures. So to all the cosplayers that I did get for this video, thank you. And thank you for being you. You guys look amazing. Lastly, I have a few things that I want to just add on. Now, you might disagree with a few of my add-ons, but it's okay. Like I said, everyone's experience of this convention differs. My first add-on is that I don't think that all the staff were as informed about certain things as they should have been. Just personally, when I entered into the convention, I wanted to go straight into these cosplay changing rooms that I heard so much about. And I asked a member of staff where the cosplay changing rooms were, and they said that they didn't know. So I begrudgingly had to go and change in the bathroom, as did a lot of cosplayers that I saw. A lot of us had to go change in the bathrooms because we couldn't find any cosplay changing rooms, and for some reason, I guess some members of staff just didn't know about it. Now, like I said, this could be different for other people. Maybe there was a cosplay changing station. I did hear somewhere in the bathroom that, yeah, there was a cosplay changing station somewhere. But I never saw it. Another thing that I have to add on, this, I'm pretty sure a lot of people experience this. In the dealer's room, there were quite a lot of booths that were, their items were overpriced, not by like $10 or so, by like $40 or so overpriced. One example of this, I remember there was a JoJo figurine. There's a JoJo figurine. At the Viz Media booth, this figurine is $40. But at another booth, I'm not going to say the booth's name, privacy reasons, but at another booth, this figurine its price was bloated to a whopping $80. And that made no sense to me, how it is now 2 times the price at this other booth when it is worth $40. So that was another thing. There were also a few booths that were selling keychains and what's not, and they had added tax onto the keychains, while a lot of booths don't really do that. Now, it's one thing for this to be an artist alley. I understand if they do, that whole thing, because yeah, it's them. That's their thing that they have put together. That's what they're making, and that's their product. So they can price their product at, whatever price they say was worth what they put into making that product. But at quite a few of these booths where they added tax or where they doubled the price of their figurines and their keychains and what's not, I was not really feeling that. Really wasn't. That was not very great at all. My next add-on. This should be obvious, but definitely, guys, getting food at AnimeNYC, stick to getting food outside. Please. I mean, unless you're prepared to spend a good $20 on a small meal, as in $5 on a drink and $15 on the actual food, which is not a lot of food. Unless you're ready to do that, save your money and just go to a restaurant. There's a lot of Japanese, Korean restaurants, even fast food restaurants. There's food trucks even outside that will charge you way less than what the Javits Center charges for the food inside. I was not really feeling the prices in there. I spent $15 on a Korean food bowl. I mean, it tasted good and all, and then I learned that there was Korean barbecue not too far that I could have spent my money on instead. So also, buyer beware when you go into the dealer's hall. Buyer beware when you buy your food at the Javits Center. Lastly, bring yourself a portable charger. I know this kind of sounds as if now this should be in a whole separate video of things to do at your first anime convention, but bring yourself a portable charger and have a USB. You'll never know when your phone starts dying. You're gonna need your phone, you're gonna want your phone to be on so you can take pictures, take video, and have a good time. Put it all on Instagram and Facebook and Snapchat and all your fancy social medias. You don't want to be the one person that does not have a charger for their phone and is now desperately searching about for somewhere to charge their phone. Well, just to wrap it all up now, I mean, I had a great time this year at AnimeNYC. This year was even better than the first year, and that's always a great sign. So definitely, if you're thinking about going to New York for a convention, what's not, AnimeNYC is definitely a convention you can spend that hotel money for. Because AnimeNYC, they have a lot. They have the potential to become one of the biggest conventions in America, really. So if AnimeNYC continues to improve on what they already have, I'm sure that it's going to continue to be a convention by fans, for fans, and it'll just continue to get better each and every year. This is IGP signing out.